Hi BookTube, it's Missy, and today I'm here to share with you guys my most anticipated reads list for August 2018. I just did this list yesterday. I think I just did this list yesterday. I was excited because one, all of the books were up and so I was able to look at it. Two, there were a lot of YA books this time around. I think since I have like proof in writing of every single month for the last 4 years, it seems that there is a pattern where all of the books that I really like come out in the spring and fall. Summer books are usually contemporary. Is that normal? I don't know. But I normally have very small, most anticipated reads in the summer, and then a lot of the good books are like at the very beginning of the year and at the very end of the year. I don't know why that is. Anyways, this time around I only have YA books because all of the adult books that I found on Megan's website, which is Reading Books Like a Boss, they were all either romance or the couple thrillers that I did see were from authors that I have in my book bag from the library, and I want to check them out, those books first, before I get excited about something else, because they write a lot of thrillers and I don't know if their formula is the same. Like, I don't want to pick up an author and then have every story that I read sound similar because it's from the same author. You know what I mean? Am I making any sense? Anyways, so I have 9 books that I found from YA to share with you guys. I'm very excited, and I found a couple of quotes that I want to share with you from Goodreads reviewers that make the book even more interesting. So my very first book that I want to share with you guys, and let me step over here so that way I can put pictures here. The first one I'm interested in is called #Murder Trending. Now the cover kind of looks like, not Lock-In, but Head On by John Scalzi, because it's just a couple of, you know, people, like stick figures. And I like stick figures for some reason. Don't ask me why. I even played this game on my phone called like Stickman or something, Adventures of Stickman. I love drawings, illustrations, and like paper cutouts and like pop-ups and everything, so that must be the reason why I'm so obsessed. Back to the story. So this is by Gretchen McNeil. She also wrote 10 and some other books. I own 10. Oh, I own Possess as well. And she does paranormal. So this one is coming out on August 7th. And this is a YA horror book. Now, it's talking about executions on social media. I know that has been done before in some horror movies where they have, like, not snuff films because that has to do with sex in it, but where there's a whole bunch of viewers watching people die. Kind of like Gladiator too, but for, you know, modern times. Anywho, there's a girl named Mandy in the Goodreads reviews if you wanted to check her whole review out, but I quoted from her review, it's actually YA horror and not the fake kind. So excited. Many people in the reviews talked about the gore factor, how this has got a lot of blood in it, so I'm all about the slasher books. Super excited to check this one out. Next, I have Echoes, and this one is by Alice Reeds. Here is the cover. Not very cool, but, well, you know, you can't win them all. This one also comes out on the 7th of August, and this is a YA mystery. Now, there's 2 enemies that are stranded on a deserted island, and it's a boy and a girl. I don't know why they're enemies, but they're there. They just wake up there. They have no recollection of how they got there, why they're there. They do need to come together and you know, work as a team or they won't survive, and there's somebody else on that island. I don't know if it's a someone or something, but someone is watching them on this island, and they have to be more afraid of that than the situation of having to work together. So I don't know. I mean, is this going to turn into a love story? I hope to God not. But I would like to see what they're afraid of on this deserted island. It seems like such like an impossible thing to have happen to someone, where they just end up on an island for no reason. But, you know, it's interesting. All right. The quote that I took from this one is, "I'm conflicted." Did I like it? Yeah. Kind of. But I was annoyingly confused. I like when books are confusing for some reason, because it makes me have to like rethink about the whole situation. Sometimes I even have to reread the book itself to figure out what was going on, because it makes it, I don't know, it makes it less dull. If it's confusing, at least it's not boring, right? So there's my 2 cents. Okay, the next book I'm looking forward to is called Never Wake. Here's the cover. I love it. It's green. And I did talk to you guys about green covers at the beginning of the year, back in January. I thought, you know how purple is the color for this year? I can't remember what shade of purple, but purple's the color for this year, but these green books are coming out, and they're all sequels, and I'm super excited because I think I'm going to be doing a sequels video at the end of the year with just green sequels, because there's a lot that came out this year and I'm really excited to own them all. But this is the sequel to Dreamfall, which I do own, by Amy Plum, and it's a sci-fi horror. So we have these group of teenage kids who can go into a dream world, and they're all being monitored for like a sleep study, but for some reason the doctors make them into like coma patients. Like they make it so they can't leave their dream state and it ends up not being a dream but a nightmare, and so the kids are like stuck in this nightmare world, and they need to get out. And Never Wake is the sequel, so I'm really looking forward to that. Did you guys see Flatliners? I really liked that movie. I haven't seen the originals, but the newest one that came out like last year with, oh, what's her face? There's a couple of people. The Juno girl. Why can't I think of her name? Anyways, here's a picture of Flatliners. That's really cool. That's a science horror as well, where the girls are trying to figure out if they can see if there's like an afterlife by like dying for a little bit and then being brought back to life, like medically. Fascinating, and it's also like a horror, so oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so the next book I found, which sounds another fascinating read, it's called Nain, and this is by Zach Hines. Now this one also comes out on the 7th, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4th book, and it also comes out on the 7th. This is a sci-fi alternate world book, so it's the world is very similar to ours, but it's not our world. But in this world, you have 9 lives. Isn't that exciting? I love it. So there's a lot of people that will burn through their lives really quickly, you know, doing dangerous, stupid things because they can, because they know that they'll like live again. But the birthing process is really painful, and so some people don't want to burn through all their lives right away. They want to like take their time, and our main character wants to live as long as possible. But there are people out there who don't like those kinds of prudish people who don't want to die. They want everyone to burn through their lives quickly for some strange reason. And there's a group of baddies who are called like the Suicide Club, or Suicide Squad, something like that. Not Suicide Squad, because that's the movie. But there's like a pact, and there is a leader that tries to recruit people to commit suicide or kill themselves for the sole purpose of like trying to get the population down, because even though you die eventually, the world's being overpopulated because there's some people, or a group of people, who would rather live for as long as possible. So like I think eventually the government's gonna have to come in and like, it says it's kind of like The Purge meets something else. So we'll see. I'm excited to read it. It sounds very interesting, and I haven't read anything about 9 Lives before. So yeah, totally interested. Let me know down below what you think of that book. The next one I have here is called The Dark Beneath the Ice, and this is by Amelinda Berube, maybe? I don't know. There's little accents on the E's. Anyways, this again comes out on the 7th, and this is a first attempt at exorcism book. So this is a horror again, and the girl, it has a bad spirit, demon, entity around her, and so she gets an exorcism, but that only pisses it off even more, and so everything bad is happening to her. Like it's really trying to hurt her and everyone around her, and so I want to know what happens next. I was to say how exciting. No, I would never want to be possessed by anything, but reading about it sounds fun. All right, the next book I have here is The Truth Lies Here, and this is by Lindsay Klingel. This is a mystery thriller. It comes out on the 21st of August, and it's about dead people in the woods. Dead people in the woods. Oh, okay, so in this town, there has been many murders, and bodies have been found in the woods. And there's a conspiracy. So they don't, that's all I have written here. Men in Black, that's what I wrote. So there's dead people showing up in the woods. There's actual like men in black like roaming the town. Like I don't know what they're doing there, but then there's a conspiracy theory going on in the town as well, and it has something to do with the father. Like the conspiracy theorist is the father of the main character, and it all sounds very strange, and I want to read it. All right, then we have Giant Days, the book, which sounded really weird. Like when I first saw it on YA Lit, which I will leave down below if you want to check out the website to find your own YA new releases. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, a new Giant Days graphic novel is coming out, which it is this month as well. But there's a book adaptation of the actual graphic novel series written by Nain. I don't know how good it's going to be, but since I really like the characters, Susan and, I don't know why I can't think, Emily? No. Susan? I can't think of the girls' names right now. I don't know why. Well, Susan and McGraw are my favorites anyway, but there's a new book coming out, and it comes out on the 21st. And that's all I can say about that. It's just an adaptation written in, book form with no pictures. And Nain is taking liberties to change it a little bit. So it's all the main characters are the same. They're all going to college, just like in the graphic novels, but some of the situations that they get in are different than the graphic novel. And there's a mixed bag. Some people like it, some people thought it was really awfully written, so we will see. Nain is a contemporary writer, so I'm not familiar with any books that she's ever written, but because I do like Giant Days a lot, I do want to try and pick that one up. And then the last two books on my favorites, my most anticipated reads for this month is Giant Days, like I said, Volume 8 is coming out on the 28th, and Giant Days is written by John Allison and then, illustrators. But yeah, I'm super excited. I just read Giant Days volume 7 at the beginning of this month. So to have the 8th one come out this month as well, which is super, I cannot wait. I'm going to put it on my queue at the library. I don't own any of the Giant Days books, but I should buy them. I like them so much. I don't see myself rereading those graphic novels. I have a handful of graphic novels that I don't know if I would reread, but I keep because the illustrations are so good. Yeah, they just kind of sit over on my other shelf. All right, and the very last book that I am like super excited to read is called The Sacrifice Box. Just title alone, doesn't that sound fascinating? I know, I'm super excited. It comes out on the 28th as well. This is by Martin Stewart, and it's about a group of 5 boys. So 5 boys go into the woods to play, and they come upon a stone box. And for some reason, they decide that they're going to put their most prized possession inside this box as a sacrifice. They've come to the conclusion that no one is allowed to remove an item from the box, open the box, anything like that. You're not allowed to touch the box ever. Never, ever, ever. And then 4 years later, bad things start happening, and the friends go back and they find out that one of the items is missing from the box, and that person who removed their item is the culprit, like the person who started all the bad things. So that just seems so interesting. It says it's Gremlins meets Breakfast Club meets Stranger Things. And don't hate me yet, okay, because I haven't watched Stranger Things. I know it's in season 2. I just don't watch TV very often, but I do want to get to it very soon. All right, and that's it. Those are all of the YA books that I'm interested in reading in August. 9 books seems like a lot, and they all sound extremely interesting, totally unique and different from anything that I've read before. And that's like my main goal when I'm finding most anticipated reads, is just books that I haven't come across before. It's coming up with a new idea for movies or music or books that hasn't been done before is really hard. And when someone does something that I haven't read, I get really excited. So let me know down below if you've heard any of these books before, if you're interested in any of these books. And the last 2 books that I want to share, these are just kind of like bonus, but it's from Karen Slaughter and Shari Lapina. Those 2 ladies wrote new books that are coming out this month, and like I said, I have their books in my library book bag that I want to check out first, but the new releases that are coming out is called Pieces of Her by Karen Slaughter. That one comes out on the 21st of August. And then Shari Lapina has An Unwanted Guest that comes out on the 7th of August. I think that one, though, came out earlier, like last month. And then this is like a new edition. I don't know why publishers do that. Like, I can understand paperback and hardback, but why do publishing companies buy the rights to these books? Because many different publishing houses have the rights to the books, right? And then they publish these books, but in different covers. It doesn't make any sense. And they do it like right after each other. I understand it if it was like years later. They ended up buying the rights and then re-releasing all these books in different covers, because, you know, some covers are super ugly and you want a prettier cover. I can get that point. Yeah, why back to back like that? I don't know. I don't know how the publishing company works. But those are all the books that I'm interested in reading. Thank you so much for watching. Excuse my voice. I don't know why I'm so so raspy today. Yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and thanks for watching. Bye!